Hello everyone, Alicia here with another Lightened Up Weight Watcher friendly recipe, and today's recipe I'm really excited about because it is for a lightened up sweet potato casserole. Now this was a viewer request and I'm really excited to make it because I love sweet potato casserole, but I've never actually done a lightened version of one before. I have one that I love making, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my favorite recipe for sweet potato casserole and I'm going to lighten it up, make it more Weight Watcher friendly. And I'm filming this a little bit early so that you guys can try this out or have this for Thanksgiving as well if you want. I also just got done filming a lightened up green bean casserole. It's a little bit different than the kind of classic that we're all mostly familiar with. We do an over-the-top version, so I did a lightened up version of that. Check that out as well if you want, but let me jump into the ingredients for this one real quick. So my favorite version has a pecan kind of crunchy topping, a buttery sweet pecan topping. And so that's what I'm gonna be doing today, not the marshmallow, but you could definitely do a marshmallow topping to this as well if you want. But this is my favorite way, so this is what I'm gonna be showing you, is with the pecan topping. So first off, I've got some fresh sweet potatoes here. I've got 4 large, and I weighed these out because that way I can give you a more accurate idea of what 4 large sweet potatoes is. So this is just over 3 pounds before I peel them. Next up, you're gonna need some almond milk. I'm just using this Almond Breeze unsweetened vanilla. You're gonna need 2 large eggs. For butter spread today, I'm gonna be using this Land O'Lakes light butter with canola oil. Now I typically use the Brummel and Brown, but I thought I would try this one out, and I thought it was the same points, and it is for a serving, but then when you start going into higher amounts, it does get a little higher than the Brummel and Brown. This, for the amount I'm gonna be using today, is 17 points, where the Brummel and Brown would only be 13. But in this recipe, it makes no difference in overall points, so I'm still gonna use this and give it a try. Next up, for sweetener, I'm gonna be using a 1/4 cup of this Lakanto maple flavored syrup. And then I'm also gonna be using a 1/2 cup of the Lakanto Monkfruit Classic. And both this and the syrup are going to go in the yam mixture. For the topping, I'm gonna be using a 1/2 cup of this Monkfruit Golden. Now on any of these sweeteners, you can use whatever your preferred no-calorie sweetener is. The Lakanto is mine, but whatever you have definitely works as long as it's no calorie. Also for the topping, I'm gonna be using a 1/2 cup all-purpose flour. And then down here, I've got a 1/2 cup chopped pecans. You're also gonna need a 1/2 teaspoon salt, a teaspoon vanilla extract, a teaspoon ground cinnamon, and then an 1/8 allspice and an 1/8 ground nutmeg. You're also gonna need a little bit of cooking spray for your casserole dish, and that is everything that's in this. So let me get it started. First thing I'm gonna do is get my sweet potatoes. They are washed already, but I'm gonna get them peeled and chopped up. Now you could also microwave these, bake these, steam these, whatever you want to do, but I am going to be boiling mine. So I want to get them peeled and chopped up into fairly small pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I will be back. I've got these all chopped, and you see I've kind of got a little variety of sizes, but they're all fairly small. So now I'm going to take these over to my stovetop. So I've added these to a large pot with cold water, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bring this to a boil, and then I'm going to let those continue to cook in there at a boil until they are nice and soft. I let those boil in there about 8 minutes. They are all nice and fork tender, so I'm going to take them now and drain them. So in a large bowl now, I'm going to take my sweet potatoes that I've drained and add those in. And then I'm going to take a potato masher and I'm going to just mash them up real well. Got those nice and mashed in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just let this sit for about 5 minutes so it cools down just a little bit before I start adding my other ingredients in, because I don't want to end up cooking my eggs when I add them in there. So I'm going to just let this rest for about 5 minutes and then I will be back. I let this rest for a few minutes. I think it's cool enough now to add the rest of my ingredients in. So now I'm going to add in my 1/2 cup Lakanto Classic or 0-calorie granulated sugar substitute of your choice. My 3 tablespoons melted butter spread, 2 eggs, half cup almond milk, 1/4 cup Lakanto maple syrup, teaspoon vanilla, teaspoon cinnamon, and an 1/8 teaspoon nutmeg, and an 1/8 allspice. Now I'm gonna just mix all of this together really well until it is fully incorporated. I've got this nice and mixed together well, so now I'm gonna take my 13 by 9 inch casserole dish, give that a spray with my cooking spray, and I'm gonna pour my sweet potatoes in. Now smooth those out in there. And now I'm gonna make my crumble. For my pecan crumble topping, I'm gonna take a medium-sized bowl here. I'm gonna add in my half cup brown sugar sub, half cup all-purpose flour, 4 tablespoons of that butter spread melted, and then finally my half cup chopped pecans. And I'm gonna just mix all of those together until they form a crumble. And that is looking good. So now we're gonna go ahead and pour this on top of our sweet potatoes. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of sprinkle this on the top as evenly as I can. Okay, now I'm gonna bake this in my preheated oven at 350 for about 40 minutes. I'm gonna start checking it a little bit earlier than that though, but I will be back once this is done. It is done. So now what I'm gonna do is let it cool just a few minutes. I will cut out a serving, show you what that is, and I will give it a taste to see what I think of this one compared to the original non-lightened up one. I've let this cool a few minutes, enough so I can get some out and taste it. But this is a 12th, is what I've got it factored in the WW recipe builder at. Here's what it looks like inside. Smells really good. So I'll go ahead and give this a try because, as I said in my green bean casserole video, my hubby is not a fan of yams. He will not, or sweet potatoes, I should say. He will not, either for that matter, he will not touch this with a 10-foot pole. So I will give it a taste because I love sweet potatoes. So let me put you up on the tripod and I will give this a taste. Okay, I'll go ahead and give this a little taste and see what I think of it. Some of that topping in there. That's very good. Very, very good. I love the pecan kind of crumble. I don't know what you would call that. I'm just going to call it a crumble. But I definitely prefer that over the marshmallows. But like I said, you could do marshmallows if you want. But this stuff is just so good. And it tastes pretty much just as good in this version as it does in the kind of full calorie version. Those pecans are just so good in that kind of buttery sweet crumble. Really pairs well, I think, with the sweet potatoes. Now, speaking of sweet, if you like your sweet potato casserole more on the sweet side, this is not super sweet. It doesn't have like an overpowering sweetness to it. It's more on the light side, which is what I personally prefer, but you could definitely add more sweetener to the filling if you want, and that's just kind of personal preference, but I like it like this. I think it's got a nice light sweet flavor. Really good. I love that, and I can taste the spices and stuff that's in there. Really, really good. I definitely think this is a nice substitute or alternative to kind of the full calorie point version that I typically make. I don't think I'll miss that if I make this instead. But yeah, this I think turned out really well. If you guys try this, let me know. And thank you to the viewer that requested this. I probably wouldn't have made it if you hadn't requested it. So thank you so much for that. And thank you guys so much for watching. and I will see you in the next one. Oh, I always forget to say, be sure to check down in the description box below where you'll find instructions, ingredients, points, calories, macros, additional nutritional info, links to the WW recipe builder, all that good stuff is going to be down below in the description box. All right, guys, thank you. I will see you on the next one.